Hello guys, in this video we are going to talk about how to make foxglove cuttings. A lot of people don't know about the fact that you can actually make cuttings from this beautiful ornamental plant. This method is mostly true for the common foxglove flower digitalis purpurea, which is a biennial ornamental flower. So here you can see a specimen that has already flowered. Actually we are in the beginning of August, so it's the perfect time to collect the cuttings. As you can see, the plant grew a lot of side shoots along the old flower stem, and actually these little shoots looks like a little seedling that we are used to. So now I'm going to cut this part because this is the material that we are going to use, and this one at the base going to stay here for next year. You can see that this stem contains a lot of little sprouts, so we are going to make a nice amount of cuttings. But sometimes foxgloves have the tendency to grow way more bigger and stronger shoots at the base. And these cuttings usually root way more faster than the previous ones because they are much closer to the ground and they are more similar to the mother plant in structure. Besides, these sprouts can actually have roots on their own to the ground because they are very close to this ground level. It's really easy to separate the cuttings from the mother plant, as you can see. Sometimes it has a really woody base. It has to be cleaned before planting. And this is another situation where the cutting actually started to grow roots. So these are the little roots that I'm talking about. And you can see they are quite high on the stem. In this case, this cutting actually have a pretty nice developed root system, so I'm not going to waste any time for nurturing this plant. I'm going to plant it out to the garden right away. This is also the size of the seedling that we usually plant out to the garden in August, after we sow the seeds in April. Now let's take another one. Also got some roots, great. The next thing that we should talking about is that you can see this plant is pretty high from the ground level. So you must protect it from the winter frost by using some leaf mold or even leaves and compost and soil. Now let's move on to the planting progress. It's going to be really simple and familiar to other planting progress, so nothing much else. To the potting mixture, use 3 portions of compost with leaf mold, 2 portions of perlite for the good drainage and to create an airy environment for the plants, and use 1 portion of sand to make sure that the mixture is good enough for them. It's going to be really great for the new seedlings. Now mix it well. Next is to choose a pot with really good drainage and put some perlite at the bottom of it and fill it up with the mixture. Next is to make the cuttings. Now you can only have to use a nice and sharp scissor, then chop it up and use only the parts that are really needed. Cut off anything unnecessary because it can rot in the soil and can damage or even kill the plant. There's 2 methods. One is to leave a little living part of the main stem on the plant because it can supply the cuttings. The other way is to clean the cutting entirely, including picking off some older leaves from the base. This way we create a little stem where the roots can form in the soil. It's really easy to plant them, you only need to focus on not planting them too deep. The freshly created stem of the cutting have to be under the ground in the pot. Pay attention to the youngest leaf of the cutting, and this is the depth where the ground level have to be in the pot. And finally, you only have to do to water them gently and well, and let them grow by their own. Make sure that their soil doesn't dry out and keep them away from direct sunshine. It's really great for them for being in a protected shady area like this windowsill. And for the winter they also need some protection. They will start to grow in the first 3 weeks, and in the next season you can plant them out in spring. And some of them will flower in the next season too. And luckily you can propagate them so on.